All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on? Appreciate everyone that's tuning in right now. Make sure to drop that like, subscribe to the channel. Be much appreciated. We got some things to dive through today. Got to talk about some free agency stuff, some number changes, stuff like that. And basically what Roger Goodell said. He had addressed the media on a couple different things. Well, actually, we're going to talk about one main thing and kind of go from there. But yeah, man, let's see. What's up, A-Rules? So I did not change my mind. Let me address it this way. Look, never change my mind at all on the Lamar Jackson situation. Because yes, before I did want him. I wouldn't mind him. I like Lamar Jackson. I think he's phenomenal. He instantly makes this offense, or the Vikings offense, that much better. He has that much more firepower and stuff like that. But how do I want to talk? Let me read it so I can kind of get my thoughts together again, because I read it before I got back on here. I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna be very, very blatant with it. Lamar Jackson's not gonna be a Minnesota Viking. Yeah, the odds have jumped from 20-1 to 9-1. But if you think about the long-term effect on the team, right? Because if we sign him, if we trade for him, we have to sign Lamar Jackson to a massive contract extension, right? So we give him that money. Okay, well, who's next? Well, Justin Jefferson needs to get a contract extension. TJ Hawkinson needs to get a contract extension and stuff like that. So the money, like, do we have enough? Like, the only way I think you make it work is if you push the money down the line. I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to want to do that. You add some voidable years, stuff like that, to push the money and help you with the cap situation. I would be okay with it. But at the same time, like, if it's not financially plausible or doable, then I'd stay away from it. That's just my opinion. But then you look at Trey Lance, it's kind of a similar situation, but he wouldn't get as much money as Lamar Jackson, because Trey Lance, he's coming off a couple of injury-riddled seasons, obviously. He's going to look for a contract extension, you know, something pretty big, I'd assume, because he was a number 3 overall pick, but it was just a rumor that I put out there. Like, that's just what I seen. It's not me saying that we're going to trade for him. It's not me saying I want him. It's me saying, like, hey, this is a potential possibility. We have to look into it, type of thing. I don't think it's going to happen. That's kind of my whole thought process on it. Like, I'd be all for it. All for it. I'd be okay with Lamar, but at the same time, we got to make sure the financial part of it is all figured out. Really? You couldn't post it? Okay. I seen something yesterday too. How do I want to do this? I will look at it. I'll go search it up after the stream if I have time, because I'm going to go hit the weight room again, obviously. Yeah, no, that's what, you know, we're in a business of, you know, providing you guys with information and news and rumors and what might happen, what might not happen and stuff like that. Especially, you know, I'm trying to be as authentic as possible while being myself as much as possible as well. So, like, basically all the videos, I'm going to give you the news, I'm going to give you my opinion on it, and then we're going to kind of go from there and stuff. But that's just kind of clear that up a little bit. That I don't think it's going to happen, but there's a chance it could. There's a chance it definitely could. There's not a lot to talk about, though, today. The NFL was kind of quiet. Actually, very, very quiet. I didn't think it was going to be this quiet, just because the owners' meeting is still happening down in Arizona, where there's final meetings and stuff. So I thought there was going to be more news that was popping off and stuff like that. That is not the case. I thought there was going to be a couple more signings. There's a couple that we can talk about, or we're going to talk about, but nothing too serious. So at any point, if you guys have any, how do I want to say this? Anything that, like, ask, or any questions about anything around the NFL or rumors and stuff like that, feel free to shoot them my way, and I'll get them answered to the best of my ability. I'll give you guys my honest opinion on what you guys might be seeking and stuff like that. Exactly, yeah, calm before the storm. That means something's going to happen. But at the same time, this happens every year. You know, we have a couple busy weeks, 2 busy weeks, and all of a sudden out of nowhere it gets real quiet right before the draft, because all the teams are focused on, you know, who they're going to take in the draft and stuff like that. So yes, it's going to be quiet right now I hope it's not this quiet, for the next couple weeks or something like that, because we really could use some more news. I almost didn't go live today, but there was enough to talk about, and I think we can get to it. I'm not sure how long we're going to be live for today, but we'll be live until we get through all the information and talk to you guys. So, Instell's good, A-Rules. What's he streaming? What's he talking about? Do you know? I thought I seen something. I wasn't sure if that was upcoming or if that was already a video and stuff, so... Because there's no games on today. There is no games on today. Friday, though, XFL. I will be streaming that. I believe it is... Let me go check the schedule real quick just to make sure I know who's playing. Shut this off. Boom. Schedule. All right, so we have the Seattle Sea Dragons versus the Arlington Renegades at 6 p.m. Central Time on Friday. I will be streaming that one. Should be a good one. It's going to be a late night, though. That's okay. Friday's my cardio day anyways, so... Okay, so he's going to be talking about the NFL draft. All right, yeah, that sounds good. He's probably going to talk about the Steelers and what they're going to pick and what he thinks they're going to do and stuff like that. So, depending on how long this goes, maybe I'll hop over there for a little bit, but, got to hit the gym. You got to get yoked. Might have to get yoked. We could, but at the same time, I don't think we have enough people to do that. So we'll kind of keep it low key. If we had like 20 to 40 people in here, maybe we can go raid. But when we got like 4 or 3 or something like that, it's up to you guys. That's not my choice. You guys are the viewers, right? I'm just gonna sit here and talk. That's kind of basically how I look at it. So, but for sure, if we have more. Let's pause this music and let's get right down to business. All right. No, it is actually Randy Moss doing the Moon and the Packer fans. Big Moss fan, if you can't tell. Greatest receiver in Vikings history. Greatest receiver in NFL history, in my opinion. In my opinion, you could say Jerry Rice, and I'd be just fine with that. You could name either one of them. I think it's just generally based on an opinion. Both the receivers were dogs. Jerry Rice, yeah, he has Super Bowl rings. Randy Moss doesn't, unfortunately. But when you're looking at pure receiver, in my opinion, Randy Moss is the number one. All right, that's just my 2 cents. So we all know the owners' meetings are taking place down in Arizona this week, or at least the last couple days. And there's been some interesting things that came out about it. We talked basically yesterday where the NFL approved players wearing the number 0, which is pretty cool. I think that should have been a rule long ago. We also talked about, they approved that. They tabled the Eagles' proposal to create a 4th and 20 alternative to the onside kick. They did not approve the Rams' proposal on roughing the passer and or replay for that. The Detroit's proposal on bringing back the 3rd quarterback rule is also tabled. They'll probably come back to it in May or something like that to see if they can figure anything out. They made they approved making a tripping penalty into a personal foul, which moves forward. That's now a 15-yard a penalty. So that was some big news, but one of the bigger parts of that whole annual meeting was the possibility of flexing the Thursday night football games, or being able to flex the Thursday night football games. Now teams can play 2 Thursday night football games in a single season. And right off the bat, a couple players were like, what are we doing? Like, this is just nonsense. Some of the owners, some of the GMs, I should say, or owners, were basically very, very much so against this and stuff. And so that was basically what Roger Goodell had to answer for today when he met with the media. Literally, it was himself. He had to answer a bunch of questions. I'm not sure how long he was on the podium for or something like that. But it all stemmed from John Mara, who is the Giants co-owner, where basically this is a tweet from Pat Leonard. I'm not going to bring it up. I didn't put it on there, but I'll read over it and then I'll kind of give you what Roger Goodell said. It says, Giants co-owner John Mara said he is adamantly opposed to flexing scheduling to Thursday Night Football and calls it abusive to season ticket holders. At some point, can we please give some consideration to the people who are coming to the games? He's glad the vote didn't pass. Okay, that was John Mara basically saying, we have to worry about the fans, the season ticket holders, and stuff like that. Like, what are we doing here? And then he kind of follows it up and says, John Mara doesn't like the new rule. Teams can play two Thursday Night Football games either. He reveals this should have been vetted with the Health and Safety Committee. It should have been vetted with the Competition Committee, and it wasn't. They just tried to push it through. All right. Pretty interesting. Also, John Morrow says today's vote on flexing games to Thursday Night Football was close, though, and he sounds worried that it will be revisited in May and will pass. So John Morrow's like, oh no, like this could get passed, and there's a possible or a potential possibility that it does. I bet the NFL meets the Competition Committee and the Health and Safety Committee and stuff like that, and probably ends up passing it or whatever. And then this is what also John Morrow had to say, people make plans to go to these games weeks and months in advance, and 15 days ahead of time to say, sorry folks, that game you were planning on taking your kids to Sunday at 1 o'clock, it's now going to be Thursday night. Like, what are we thinking about? So John Morrow's pissed, and he should be. He has the right to be, obviously. That's his opinion. He has the right to state his opinion and stuff like that. But look, some people aren't okay with change, right? You want to stick to the same old, same old. Well, why not? When you have two good teams in the National Football League. You remember last year, Thursday Night Football was horseshit. Excuse the language. Terrible to watch Thursday Night Football. There was maybe 1 or 2 games, maybe 3 games that were decent enough to watch. Otherwise, other than that, low scoring, no offense, defense was okay. We got to see the Broncos many times, I feel like, or twice, or once at least. We got to see the Chargers, but none of those games lived up to the hype, okay? But this gives the NFL the ability to take these, how do you want to say it? Like these winning teams, these teams that are 10-0 or something like that, or just these dominant teams, and shove them into a primetime game where millions of people are going to get to watch them, where we have explosive offenses, where we have these high-scoring games, and it just makes the whole... how do you want to say it? The whole viewership or the whole, I don't want to say it, like the whole, I don't know, just everything about it makes it that much better if you're able to do this, right? So like, Friday Night Football too, that would be kind of cool. Imagine if the NFL had a Friday night, Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday, Monday, boom, that would be perfect as well. And I'll get to your question here above this later, but Roger Goodell had to kind of answer to this, in which I think he did in a pretty decent fashion. Now, Roger Goodell, obviously being a lawyer, the commissioner of the NFL and stuff like that, he has a really good way with his words. He says something without saying anything. Like, there's no context to it, but at the same time, he kind of makes you go, okay, sounds good. So this is kind of what Roger Goodell said. This is per Ari Meirov and then Ian Rappaport. Ari Meirov said, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell on Thursday Night Football games having flex scheduling. Our fans come first. That's important. Part of what we do is giving our fans the best games. We're going to be careful with it. Talks on having it been tabled until May. Goodell said, we'll see. We will see. And NFL Commissioner said this about John Mara calling flexing of Thursday Night Football games abusive. He said, providing the best matchups for our fans is what we do. But we look at all the impacts. It's a very important thing to balance between the in-stadium fans and those who watch on TV. So you have to balance those two. You have tickets, sorry about it, you're going to get fully refunded, okay? Bam. Buy a different game or go to a different game. Or, even better, if you don't have plans on Thursday, buy the tickets for that game, or maybe they have the offer or the opportunity to be like, look, you can either get your tickets refunded or you can get tickets for this Thursday night game if you're available to be present there, right? So I think there's ways to work around this and stuff. Like, I get it. It's all about the fans and stuff. But what about the ones on TVs, the ones that are at home who their favorite team isn't playing, but they would love to watch the Chiefs versus the Raiders or something like that. Something, that primetime television would be perfect to watch, right? So that was kind of the whole situation. There was also a certain quarterback, yesterday that wasn't too pleased with this Thursday night flexing scheduling or being able to play 2 times on Thursday night. And that was Patrick Mahomes. We talked about it right before we got off live yesterday, where basically there was a tweet of him going, what are we doing? That's basically what it was. It was just the guy with his hand over his head, like, come on. Come on, NFL, stuff like that. Roger Goodell never seen the tweet. At least I don't think he's seen it at first, but it was brought up during the meeting, and this is how he addressed it. He said, I don't think we're putting Amazon over our players. The data doesn't show higher injury rate. I hear from players who also love the 10 days after a Thursday night game. We have to try to balance all of it. There's a lot that goes into flexing schedules, right? I don't believe you can flex until the first part of the season. What is it, week 7, week 8, or halfway through the season? You can't flex games until like literally the last part or last portion of the season or something like that. But there's a lot of work that has to be involved and that goes into being able to flex these games, right? Plus, you play on Thursday night. Yeah, you have a shortened week if you play on a Sunday or something like that. You play Sunday, then you play Thursday. It's a shortened week, whatever. Then you get a 10-day rest period. Perfect. A lot more practice. You can get ready for your next opponent or something like that. And then if you get flexed again, you won't be able to get flexed if you're playing Monday night. Not going to happen. If you're playing Sunday, there's a good chance that you could get flexed into Thursday. It's just, it's the reality of what might happen. Okay, so these players, these coaches, these owners and stuff like that, they have to get over it and realize the NFL is trying to do what's best for business, what's best to make money, and what's best for the fans experience-wise. Because Thursday Night Football last year, even though Amazon Prime was good, the quality of football, yikes, not good at all. Not good one bit. So that is what Roger Goodell basically had to address today. I haven't seen anything else at this moment. I didn't go watch him because obviously I was working this morning, whatever, at least till 3 o'clock, so I didn't get to dive into it. But that was kind of the big talking point about the Thursday Night Football flexing being available and stuff like that. But let's go over to A Rules. I want to see what he said. Okay, I did one more question. I asked this on East, and do you think a Super Bowl ringless player deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? I personally think a Super Bowl ring for one would be Hall of Fame. I always thought winning a Super Bowl greatly increases your chance for the Hall of Fame, hence trying to get Kirk to win one to be Hall of Fame worthy. Okay. So my thoughts on it, on the Hall of Fame. Obviously, you have to have some type of accolades. Whether you made a Pro Bowl, did you make the playoffs, were you of importance to your team? The one big thing that I think of, the one big thing that I'll tell people always, can you tell the story of football without that player? If you can't, and he has the accolades to back it up, he's been to a Pro Bowl, he's won maybe an award or something like that, he's been to the playoffs, he's won a playoff game, he's one of the best to play on an organization, can you tell the game of football without him in it or without that player in it? That's kind of how I look at the situation, because if you can't tell the story of football without him being in it, then he probably belongs in the Hall of Fame if he has the accolades to back it up. Okay? But if you can tell the story of football without that player, he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Kirk Cousins is a good example. I think you can tell the story of football without Kirk Cousins. I really do. What has he done that's significantly important besides his massive comeback against, the Indianapolis Colts? There's not much, right? Other than taking over RG3's position. So, if Kirk goes and wins the Super Bowl, then yeah, probably Hall of Fame. Because guess what? You have to tell the story of football with Kirk Cousins in there. Oh yeah, by the way, he won blah, blah, blah Super Bowl. Okay, then we talk about it. I don't necessarily think Kirk has the accolades. I think he's close. But the one big thing goes back to this. You can tell the story of football without Kirk Cousins. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I think there should be ringless players that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, that aren't in the Hall of Fame, I think. But obviously it'll come in time and stuff like that. But that's kind of my whole thought process around it. If you can tell the story of football without that player, they are not a Hall of Fame worthy, or they're not Hall of Fame worthy. But if you can tell the story of football, or if you can't tell the story of football without that player, they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame pending their accolades, if that makes any sense. If that makes any sense. What's up, Daniel? Appreciate you for tuning in. How we doing, my guy? Hope everything's going swell on your end. I am sore as shit today. Very, very sore. My arms hurt like hell. We'll put it that way. But tomorrow, I hope I can walk, because today is leg day. And oh, it's going to be brutal. But that's okay. That is okay. We back in the lab. let's move forward. A-Rules, I'm not sure if you're still here, but that's kind of my whole outlook on that whole situation, if that makes any sense to you. But yeah, so let's move forward. Last night before or right after we got off the show, basically a couple hours after the show or whatever, the Eagles have made a decision, and I am pumped for this one. Per Zach Berman, Jeffrey Lurie, who is the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe, announced that the Eagles will wear their Kelly Green alternate jerseys this season, but he doesn't have the exact game yet. I am super stoked for it. I've been missing these jerseys for quite some time. I'm glad that the NFL has finally allowed player or teams to wear two different helmets. They took that away for a couple years for some stupid reason. You know, the no fun league is what the NFL stood for. But they started bringing it back and stuff like that. So you can have two different types of helmets, which means you can have two different types of uniforms and stuff like that. So the Eagles are finally bringing back their Kelly uniforms. And my buddy John thinks, well, they should probably keep that for the whole season and stuff like that. They just look clean. They look sweet. But I guess we will find out just how sweet and how clean they look this season. Not sure the game when that does come up, because I don't think the schedules have been released. You've only seen who they're going to be playing. I don't believe the schedule gets released until after the draft or something like that. Or maybe, yeah, something like that. I'm not 100% sure when the schedules officially get released, but we do know the certain teams that, you know, each team is playing, kind of thing like that. If you don't know, go on Twitter pages, go on like the 49ers Twitter, or not Twitter page, Instagram page and stuff like that. They have graphics and stuff that you can see who they're playing at home and who they're playing away and stuff like that. But the Eagles are bringing back their Kelly Green alternate jerseys this season. I am all for it. I'm pumped. I wish. So we seen the Bengals use the white uniform last year, the all white. That was I liked it. It was clean. Who else brought in new jerseys? Atlanta brought in the red helmet back. That was cool. God, there was a couple more, wasn't there? There had to have been. I don't know why I'm blanking on all of them. The Browns, didn't they bring back their alternate helmet or something like that? Green Bay needs to bring back their old one. The Packers, what is it? The Acme Packer one, I think, is that. If you're watching, is that the right one I'm talking about? New England brought their old one back, which thank God Patriot Pat was on the side. I love that one. That's my favorite uni of all time. Okay, big time fan of that. I hope so, but I mean, at the same time, I really don't care. Like, if we do, I don't want our old style one. Like, do you remember seeing our old one when Brett Favre played and stuff like that, when it was like the super dark shade of purple, kind of a gray face mask and stuff like that? It's cool. Like, I like it. It's a throwback. But if we're going to bring one in, let's make a change. Let's go all white. Let's go all black. Hey, let's change it up a little bit, you know? Let's add some spice to it, you know? Modernize the Vikings a little bit, not take it back, you know, to old school days. But at the same time, I don't care. You know, it is what it is. If we decide to have a new uniform, fantastic. If not, alrighty then. It doesn't bother me any at all, but I would love to see like an all black uniform. I think that would be sweet with like, it's a matte black, you know, you got the shiny purple outline of the horn. I think it would look so cool. So cool. Chili pepper? Not really sure what that means. Hot? Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. I see what you mean. But the Eagles are going to be wearing the Kelly Green uniforms this season. Not sure of what game they're going to be wearing it for, but just know we got a new uniform coming back this season. I'm excited to see it. I know John is as well. So let's move forward. The Las Vegas Raiders also made another move today. I think they've been making moves left and right this offseason. Remember, they let go of Derek Carr and brought in Jimmy Garoppolo. Also did some other things, I do believe. Let's go pull up their depth chart real quick. All right, let's see. They also got Jacoby Myers. I remember that happening. Austin Hooper comes to town. I believe they got a couple people on defense, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they signed Duke Shelley, who is actually their starting right corner at this time. And I believe they signed a couple other guys. But they've been making moves, trying to get back on the right track and stuff like that. But they also just made another move, not a massive one, But I think it's a decent one. You add depth to that wide receiver room where you already got Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, Phillip Dorsett, Keelan Cole, something like that. But they added free agent wide receiver DeAndre Carter, who is signing a one-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders up to $2.375 million, sources tell at The Score. Now, Carter comes off his best season, totaling 46 catches for 538 yards and 3 touchdowns with the Los Angeles Chargers. He also ranked second in the NFL with 11.7 yards per punt return. More help on the way for Jimmy Garoppolo. So by this stat, by this tweet, all I can say is this man's most likely going to be a kick returner or punt returner for the Raiders. He's going to be coming off the bench if the wide receiver room needs it or if somebody goes down. This is kind of what I believe he's going to be. Otherwise, he's going to be a great fourth stringer. If Hunter Renfrow needs a quick break or if Jacoby Myers needs a quick break, boom, DeAndre Carter is back in the building. However, not really sure that might be the case because he is listed as maybe the fifth. Yeah, he's fifth overall on the depth chart because it goes Devontae Adams, then Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, Phillip Dorsett, and then DeAndre Carter. So he's ranked fifth on the depth chart. This signing is basically just saying, hey, we need help on the punt return, kick return game, and we just need some depth at wide receiver. So they ended up landing free agent wide receiver from the Chargers, DeAndre Carter, to a one-year deal worth up to $2.37 million. Raiders getting back to business. We'll see what happens going forward on that front. All right. Also, a massive signing that happened this morning. I was kind of shocked by it, but I knew something was coming. I wasn't for sure if this was going to happen. We talked about it a couple times, not a lot about it, but at least a decent amount. It's about Calais Campbell, right? Potentially returning to the National Football League or coming back for at least another season. My thoughts were that, hey, he's getting up there in age. Okay, he's played in the NFL, had an illustrious career. He's been a dog, if you will. But he's also been seen doing broadcasting gigs and stuff like that. And he's really, really good at doing that, at being with Fox or being with ESPN or wherever the hell he is. He's been phenomenal at being a broadcaster for the NFL and stuff like that. So I thought, hey, maybe he thinks it's time to hang it up, sign a big-time contract extension with, whatever entity wants to sign him and stuff like that and kind of take his career that way. However, he has decided to make another run at it in the NFL, make another run at potentially trying to grab a Lombardi. That is because Ian Rappaport reported, sources, the Falcons are making another splash as former Ravens star Calais Campbell intends to sign a one-year deal with them. The Pro Bowler and former Walter Payton Man of the Year will lend leadership to a young team he believes in, and Atlanta adds again on defense. Now, I believe they added a couple pieces. I know Jesse Bates was also one they added earlier this offseason, a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because that was pretty big news. Not really sure on his contract. What just happened there? Oh, on what his contract kind of looked like. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I could go look at it. I'm not going to. But their defense is looking good. I think it's looking a lot better than what it was before, or at least last year. It's looking a lot better right now. If this loads. Come on, technology. Let's go. All right, don't make me do this. I don't understand it. Sometimes it works perfectly, and then sometimes it's just like, yeah, no, sorry about it. Come on. Dude, this is just pissing me off. Why don't you want to work? All right, there we go. We're back. So now on defense, they have Calais Campbell at lefty end. They have David Onyemata at nose tackle, Grady Jarrett at the right defensive end spot. Not too shabby for a defensive line. Linebacker, on weak side, they have Caden Ellis on the left inside linebacker, Troy Anderson, right inside linebacker, Mikael Walker, and the strong side linebacker, Arnold Abakiti, I believe is how you say it. So their linebacker room could use some help, obviously. I think they're going to get that in the draft this season. They definitely will because I think they have a higher pick or something like that. Corners, they're fine. A.J. Terrell, Mike Hughes, Casey Hayward, Darren Hall. They added Mike Hughes this offseason. And then safeties, Jalen Hawkins, and then the guy that they added, Jesse Bates III. So Atlanta's defense looking a lot better, I think, from last year. Their offense is also pretty decent. And the fact that they're going to roll with Desmond Ridder. They got Tyler Heineke this offseason. Tyler Algier is going to be their starter at running back. Cordero Patterson will be the backup, kind of, to hold his own right there. Drake London and Matt Collins, Scotty Miller, all the wide receivers. They just added Scotty Miller, I believe, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, I think we talked about it. They probably added him a couple days ago. But then, obviously, Kyle Pitts at tight end. And then their offensive line is decent. They could use some help, but I think they're just fine offensively. So the Atlanta Falcons add Calais Campbell to a 1-year deal. Not really sure of what the compensation is currently at this point in time. Nothing has kind of been released about that whole situation, but just know that you can expect Calais Campbell to be back or to be in the red and black. So Calais Campbell, 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. Good for him. Shout out Calais. One more year in the NFL. I'm assuming this might be his last year. Then he'll sign a 1-year deal with the Ravens to kind of retire a Baltimore Raven and then go right back to broadcasting and doing, stuff outside of football, but talking about football, if that makes any sense. All right. So moving forward, again, appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. If you have any questions, that relate to the National Football League in any way, any question at all, shoot them my way. I will get them answered as honestly as possible, but a lot of it's going to be more opinionated based. So if you have any questions about certain players or what might happen here in this whole situation and stuff like that, I would gladly be able to answer those. So until then, let's move forward to a couple quick little bits of information. We have some jersey changes. This is going to happen the next couple days after people heard that you can wear number 0. Remember, what was it? When they passed this rule of you can wear certain numbers or you can wear more numbers and stuff like that, the NFL basically said that, hey, you have to either A, buy out the rest of your jersey collection in order to switch your number, or you wait until the next season at a certain time and then you make your decision before we make any more, so then you don't have to pay. Because if you pay for it, it's coming out of your paycheck, and these NFL players don't get paid shit for the jerseys, okay? I'm just telling you that plain and simple. If you watch the Pat McAfee show ever, he explains it a couple times. He hasn't explained it in quite a while because it hasn't come up in his topic of conversations. But they literally don't get anything from these jerseys. I think it's like either 10% or less from the jerseys. So a jersey is what? $180, I believe, for a jersey. Top tier jerseys, maybe $210. So you're looking at what? $180. Let's see. Times 0.1. They get $18 per jersey sold. $18 per jersey sold. So they make, that's 10%. I think it's much lower than that. But now I think it's like now they don't have to pay for their jersey, or they might have to if they change it too late or something like that. The rest of their inventory to buy it out. But there's been a couple of jersey number changes. The first of which being T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals. He is officially switching his number to number 5 this season. I believe he was 85 last year. I like this on him. I think it looks smooth. I think it looks clean. And yes, absolutely, A-Rules, Pat McAfee is a dog. But yeah, T. Higgins went to number 5 this season. I like it. You guys can tell me if you like it or not. I really don't care. But this is a jersey number change for T. Higgins, going from 85 to number 5. Another jersey change that makes a little bit of some sense here, and it's actually kind of cool because, this number was just legalized by the National Football League and saying, hey, yeah, you can wear it. You can wear it. Certain position groups can. Offensive line, defensive line, not so fast. But everyone else, you got dibs if you want it. Per Ari Mirov, Giants wide receiver Paris Campbell will wear number 0 with his new team. So we'll see number 0 with the Jaguars and for sure the New York Giants this season. There will be more to come. I can guarantee there will be more number 0s coming. I'm going to be interested into seeing who will be the first quarterback to wear number 0. If you guys could tell me right now in the chat, who do you think is going to wear the number 0 at quarterback first? Who do you think it would be? Who do you think would wear number 0 first as a quarterback? I'm not really sure. I am not sure at all. I don't think any quarterback's going to change to number 0 at all. I really don't, unless they're like a rookie, maybe potentially, but I don't see any quarterback wearing the number 0. That's going to be 1 through 10 or 1 through 19 basically, or 1 through 18. quarterback's going to be. I don't see any quarterback changing number 0, but Paris Campbell did. Wide receiver for the New York Giants. I believe, he's newly acquired over there. He will be wearing number 0 for that squad. So yeah, not too shabby indeed. Let's move forward yet again. Again, like I said earlier, not much to talk about today. There's literally nothing going on. Like, today is so dead. I was pretty shocked. Like, I was expecting my Twitter feed to be blowing up, and that was not the case at all this entire day. I was like, are you serious? Like, there was some stuff popping off here and there, but nothing like, whoa, we got to talk about that, or like 10, 20 different tweets that we have to talk about and stuff like that. Today's kind of a shorter day, and that is okay. But we have another signing. Actually, this one is by the Buffalo Bills. Per Ari Mirov, he says, source, the Bills are re-signing veteran D tackle Jordan Phillips to a 1-year, $3 million deal. And I mean, look at this guy. Look how massive this guy is. I mean, we're talking dog. This dude is, he's yoked up. He's ready to, get to the quarterback, put him on his ass, and say, how you doing? Keep it moving. Jordan Phillips remains back with the Buffalo Bills for a 1-year, $3 million deal. Last season, well, not great. 9 total tackles, 1.5 sacks. Now, if we go look at all of his stats, if we look at it real quick, played in 12 games, by far had his worst season. By far had his worst season ever. His best season was back in 2019 with the Buffalo Bills, where he had 31 total tackles, 6 assists, 25 solo, obviously, 9.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Wow. These sneezes come out of nowhere. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the cold air in here or something, or maybe it's just my body getting rid of all the toxins since, I'm going sober. So, yeah, kicking the booze. Y'all should do the same thing. No more drinking. No more drinking. Get your body right. Straight water, grind, go to the gym, just like this man right here. Okay, Jordan Phillips is a dog. You think he's up 6 a.m. drinking some beer? Probably not. Okay, he's up 6 a.m. hitting the weights. Just clink, clink, clink. He's getting jacked. All right, that's what we all should be doing. All right, so you can do what you want, though. I really don't give a shit. You guys can do whatever the hell you want. It's your life. You live it the way you want. But the Bills are re-signing Jordan Phillips, this man right here who's massive. Okay, I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table for the Bills. Not really sure how it's going to pan out, but only time will tell. Only time will tell to see how this works out. All right, dude, I will be right. I got to blow my nose. This is ridiculous. I am super pissed. Like, what in the world is going on? Give me 2 seconds. Be right back. Oh. All right, we're back. That was annoying. I hate when that happens. Like, just out of nowhere, it's like, all right, yeah, you got to get up, blow your nose. I'm like, okay, sick, thanks. But we're fine now. All right, so we talked about that. Just a couple last bits of information here to talk about. First, Lamar Jackson situation. There's rumors obviously swirling around of what might happen and what's going down. We all know, we heard yesterday that he requested or announced that he requested a trade from the Baltimore Ravens on March 2nd. He said, I want out of here. They said, okay, well, here's the unrestricted franchise tag. Go speak to other teams. If they make an offer, we'll see if we can match it. If not, we'll take 2 first-round picks, and we'll send your little goofy buttocks on the way, okay? See you later. How you doing? Keep moving. The Ravens are basically shooting themselves in the foot because they have a franchise quarterback, but don't want to keep him around, okay? They don't want to pay him massive amounts of money, which he, by the way, deserves. Lamar Jackson, in every way possible, deserves more money than Deshaun Watson, who might have allegedly did despicable things. In my opinion, Lamar Jackson, who's won an MVP, who's been to the Pro Bowl, who's won a playoff game, has done more than enough to prove that he's worth more than what Deshaun Watson got paid. I don't care if fully guaranteed contracts are quote-unquote Bad for the NFL. Don't give a shit. Okay? When you want a franchise quarterback and there's one available on the market, and maybe this guy just happens to be on your team, why not sign him? Why not give him that? It's hard to find these guys. Yes, I understand he's had injuries and stuff, which, by the way, Lamar Jackson has taken quite the beating on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that about his injury-riddled past, and, some advice was given to him and blah, blah, blah. Well, Lamar Jackson decided to go take matters into his own hands and respond to all those injury-hating tweets and stuff like that. Here's what he had to say. He said, I don't remember me sitting out on my guys week 1 versus the Jets to week 12 versus the Broncos. How come all of a sudden I sit out because of money in which I could have got hurt at any time within that time frame? Interesting. When we know the Super Bowl has been on my mind since April of 2018. Okay, let's get real. I'd rather have 100% PCL than go out there and play horrible, forcing myself to put my guys in a bad situation. That's selfish to me. I shouldn't do that. Okay, so people are pissed that, he could have played. He was fine. He wasn't too fully injured and stuff like that. He was 90%, not 100%, stuff like that or whatever. No, guess what? He don't care. He's doing what's best for his team. He was injured. He chose to sit out because he wanted to go out there with 100%, PCL instead of 90 or instead of 70 or whatever the case may be, just to protect his career, protect the longevity of his career, right? So he's kind of pissed off right now, and he should be. Obviously, I think that's reasonable. He should be that, you don't think I can play? You don't think I'm worth a big contract because of my injury past, or because I don't care about my team and I might sit out this season if nothing gets done? Because that's a bunch of BS. Guess what? I will be playing. For the Baltimore Ravens, we'll find out. If another team wants to make an offer, we'll find out what happens. But for now, leave me alone, stay out of my business, and wait until you hear something more. Everyone wants to jump to conclusions. They did this with Aaron Rodgers. They do this with every superstar athlete in the National Football League. If something is said negatively about you, or something isn't going their way, the fans' way, they start making an assumption. This guy's a drama queen. Aaron Rodgers is this, he's that. I don't care about his COVID toe or something. Just belittling the guy. Like he's just a drama queen. He's a whatever you want to say about him. It's fans piss me off sometimes because we jump to conclusions way too many times, way too much. And we shouldn't. We should be realistic. We should see what's going on, and we should let the process just play out. Look, the moral of the story, all you need to know, besides bitching and moaning, this goes to everybody, right, is that Lamar Jackson got his unrestricted free agent tag because the Ravens weren't willing to pay him a massive contract extension, okay, in which Lamar Jackson and the Ravens have been working on getting done for quite some time. They have made no progress. The contract negotiations are still ongoing, but Lamar Jackson can speak to other teams. They can make an offer. The Baltimore Ravens can match it. And then at that point, if they don't want to match it, they get two first round picks in return. They send Lamar away. Okay. Then we also know March 2nd, Lamar Jackson requested a trade from the Baltimore Ravens. That part of it doesn't really mean too much, doesn't make any sense. It's just a leverage play, I think, for Lamar. It's kind of him just shouting out to other teams, like, hey, I'm available. Come sign me. I asked for a trade. You guys can come get me. I don't want to play here. That is what that move was all about. It's the only thing you know. It's the only thing you need to know. So move on, stay out of his business, and let this play out. And I'm not talking to whoever's in my chat. I'm not talking to you guys at all. But if that's how you feel, if that's how you think, change your mindset. Twist it a little bit. Change it. Worry about it when it comes down to the time or it comes down to the news actually breaking that he's signing with yada yada. You know what I mean? Just take a breather is all I'm asking. Lamar Jackson's going to get signed to somebody. It might be the Baltimore Ravens. It might not be. But the moral of the story is Lamar's going to play next season, and that's all you need to care about. Sorry, Baltimore fans, if you feel, how do I say it, distraught about this, pissed off about this. But guess what? Your team hasn't bought in to Lamar Jackson. They don't believe he's your franchise guy. Remember what the Cleveland Browns did to Baker Mayfield? Back-to-back years. Franchise tagged him because they didn't believe that he was the franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. They didn't believe in him. They didn't trust him. That's the exact same situation we have going on with Baltimore. And it wouldn't surprise me if Lamar Jackson walks away and signs a massive deal with a different team. Keep an eye on this situation. Yeah, right there. John says that Shannon Sharp said they did the exact same thing to Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, and Ray Lewis. Baltimore has a history of doing this type of things. I'm sure there's other teams that do the same thing, like Green Bay and their whole quarterback situation, obviously. But this happens. But the Baltimore Ravens, they don't want to pay anybody. And I guess they're a lot like the Pittsburgh Steelers in a way. Because Pittsburgh's not going to pay big contracts. Or they're not going to give you massive contract extensions because they're not fully bought in that you're going to be here for the long term, or that there might not be success down the road or something. But I think it all boils down to the Ravens going like, whoa, Lamar's been injured way too many times these past 2 seasons. Like, how long does he actually have left? Is he worth 250 fully guaranteed? Like, I don't think so. Maybe we should just franchise tag him. Make it a prove-it year, another prove-it year, and kind of go on from there and stuff. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. To me, it doesn't. It's just, they're treating this whole situation poorly. Baltimore has a guy. You have him right there. I mean, he's literally looking you in the eyes. He's your starting quarterback, your franchise quarterback that it took you not too long to find, I guess, but Joe Flacco was really on the downcline, and he won you a playoff game. Yeah, he hasn't got back, or he's been back, but it hasn't turned out hasn't turned out the greatest, right? But why not keep him in the building? What are you going to do if he leaves? What are you going to do? Draft another quarterback? Hope it pans out? Seems like a risky decision to me. A very risky. And what happens if Lamar Jackson decides to sit out? You trust in Tyler Huntley the whole season? This doesn't make any sense to me. Lamar Jackson wants a big extension, deserves to get paid more than Deshaun Watson, and the Ravens aren't giving it. And that should be a question for concern. And I think Lamar Jackson's going to be on a different team at some point in this offseason, whether that's before the draft, after the draft. I don't care. I don't know. But at the same time, I will wait to let it play out. So we'll see what happens with Lamar Jackson going forward. Everybody on the Ravens get injured a season ago. The whole team got injured, went through all it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was good. Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that. Perfect. Yeah, they got an F- ranked on their training staff. Like, of course he's going to be injured. Fix your damn training staff. Hire a new athletic trainer. The Vikings did that. Guess what? We weren't as injured. Now, we did have some injuries, okay? Some big ones. But we didn't have these minor, like, hamstring injuries. We didn't have these, you're out for 1 or 2 games or something like that. It was mainly just boom, ACL, boom, broken foot, boom, ankle injury, boom, like rib injury or something like that, shoulder injury or something like that. It wasn't these massive ones. And, but yeah, like, bro, what? Lamar Jackson the last 3 years has only made $25 million. Josh Allen has $65 million. Are like, now I get it. Josh Allen, probably better. I'd say better than Lamar Jackson. Okay. He has the ability to scramble, get outside the pocket, and he has a massive arm, a better arm than Lamar Jackson. So it makes a little sense, but he wants to get closer to that. Hey, Rules, what's up? So Lamar's been taking some heat about being injury prone and about not wanting to give his all for his team and stuff like that. So nobody wants to take a chance on him. So he's kind of like, he's just stepping in front of the whole situation. So this is the tweet that he kind of released right here. If you see, because he's like, look, like, let's get real. I'd rather have 100% PCL than go out there and play horrible, forcing myself to put my guys in a bad situation. And that feels selfish to me, basically. And so we're just talking about the whole situation of where, like, you know, he deserves to be paid. It's kind of the same stuff that we've talked about this, you know, for the past, 3 weeks at this point now. No, definitely not $40 million better. I agree with that. 1,000,000%. Maybe $10 million better. Maybe Maybe. I mean, like, I don't know. He's a franchise quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, he does it all. He has weapons somewhat. Like, you can consider them weapons, but are they superstar weapons? Like, imagine, I don't know, here's a scenario. You put D-Hop on that roster. Let's say you already got the Lamar Jackson contract done. Then you bring in D-Hop. Now you really get to see what Lamar Jackson's made of. Absolutely. They could have avoided this whole situation, and then guess what? They wouldn't have had to pay him more than Deshaun Watson. And I think it kind of goes it all goes back to the Deshaun Watson. Now it's a whole different situation, but if you look at what Deshaun Watson got, 230 fully guaranteed, and what he did last season, and what he allegedly did over the past 2 years, okay? There was a team willing to give him massive amounts of money because they weren't bought in on Baker Mayfield, and they thought that Deshaun Watson was a franchise caliber quarterback. And that's the whole situation that's going on with Lamar Jackson. I just don't understand why you want to get rid of a guy like that. Because the chances of you finding a better guy than Lamar Jackson in the draft are slim. Very, very slim. There's going to be one or two, maybe three guys, like maybe three's a stretch, that are going to be dogs at quarterback, franchise caliber quarterbacks. And you want to take that chance. You want to take that chance and go out in free agency and sign Joe Flacco back to the team? You think he can run it back with this squad? Absolutely not. Lamar Jackson brings you way more success than Joe Flacco ever did. Even though Flacco, I think, won him a Super Bowl. Or is that Trent Dilfer? I know Joe Flacco got there. Can't remember if he won it, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, nope. Absolutely. John's correct on that. The Ravens turned on him. The Ravens they're not buying in on the fact that Lamar's a franchise quarterback. They don't believe in him. They don't think he's the franchise guy for the Baltimore Ravens. That's why they gave him the unrestricted franchise tag to go speak to other teams to see if other teams are willing to make him a contract offer, and then they would see if they wanted to match it or not. They're kind of like, oh, okay, you want more money? Well, how about this? You can go see what you get from other teams, okay? Sign right there. And we'll see if we can match that offer. If not, adios. Means they don't care if they lose him. They don't give a shit if they lose Lamar Jackson. That's what it boils down to. Like, that's kind of how the conversation has to go right there. It's like, okay, you want that money? That's not going to happen, but you can see what you're going to get from other teams. So, good luck. And if you end up back here, hey, great. We'll welcome you back with open arms. So, okay, that's what I thought. Yep. So Joe Flacco did win the Super Bowl. So Lamar hasn't. So, but Joe Flacco obviously old. Like, I don't know. But that's kind of my 2 cents on the whole situation. The Ravens turned, like John said, turned on. I hope you're joking, because he doesn't. I think he's better off betting on himself. Or you get St. Omni to do it. Whoever the hell that was who got that Laramie Tunsil deal done. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I don't think Lamar needs an agent. I think he knows what he's done, and I think he knows what he's capable of doing. And I think he knows he's a franchise quarterback and deserves to be paid big money. I think he can be smart about this decision. Now, if he does get an agent, cool. But at the same time, he's a businessman. He doesn't want to give certain percentage to his agent and stuff like that. Yeah, no, not a chance. All the legality like sides of it, I'd be lost. I'd probably walk into that room and be like, okay, so here's the deal. Okay, let's see. He wants 200 million, 250 fully guaranteed, divided by 5. Perfect. Let's see. Divided by 4. All right, 4 years, 250 million fully guaranteed. That's 62.5 million a year. Huh? How about them apples? You want to sign that? I think you'd like it. I think Lamar would like it. Or you go 5 years, 50 million total a year, something like that. Oh yeah, big time. Oh yeah, way less pull. We would have no clue. We'd just walk in that room. I'd walk in here with a sweatshirt, the Cuban on, the Cuban link chain, obviously, some sweats, and I'd go grab a cigar. Don't got one, but here's what I'm thinking. Okay, so Lamar won a Pro Bowl, won a playoff game. Okay, he's an MVP. Deshaun Watson isn't. Okay, he got paid 230. Lamar wants 250, fully guaranteed. What do you think? How many years? How many years are we talking? Maybe add some voidable years in there. I mean, some no. Okay, all right. Well, have a good one. That's kind of how I would walk in there and do it, because I ain't messing around. I'm just gonna tell you the situation. I mean, hey, this is what he wants. What do you think? And probably get a no. Probably get a no. Probably get a no. Hey, no, but Lamar's working with his mom. That's why. Lamar Jackson's working with his mom. Like, his mom's like his second hand, if you will. Like, they're kind of working together. You know what I mean? Because I think I'm sure his mom's like a businesswoman or something like that, or smart enough. So that's kind of how that whole situation's panning out. But yeah, so Lamar Jackson, he's getting in front of all those injury, belittlements or tweets that are coming out about him recently. So let's move on to one of our last bits of information before we hop on the Twitter and see if we missed anything. You guys have any questions about anything on the National Football League? Like anything about certain players? He ain't playing. Exactly. But if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the chat. I will try to answer them with the best of my opinion. I will try to do that. But let's move forward before we hop on Twitter and see if we missed anything. Oh, excuse me. I apologize. Let's see if we missed anything after this one. The Detroit Lions made a pretty massive move, I would say. They reunite with a familiar face, and I am excited about this. Sort of. As an NFL fan, I'm excited for this. Per Mike Garafolo, veteran wide receiver Marvin Jones Jr. is headed back to the Detroit Lions, where he played from 2016 to 2020. Source says it's a one-year deal with a $3 million base value with incentives that can push it to $5 million. Marvin Jones Jr. says, back, and I'm still buzzing, all right? We're buzzing. So, Marvin Jones Jr. back with the Detroit Lions. I think this is phenomenal. From 2016 to 2020, he had his best years of his career, arguably, with Matthew Stafford in the building. Now, there was two teams that he was potentially going to go to. Obviously, the Lions being one of them, the other one being the Rams to play with Matthew Stafford. However, he ends up back with the Detroit Lions. And Rules, to kind of go off your point, it just wasn't working out in Jacksonville. I didn't think the duo, I just didn't think he didn't look good down there. Originally, when he got signed there, was it a year ago, 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I was like, okay, they got a good receiver in this guy. And he had a decent season that year, 2021, 832 yards, 4 tutties, nothing great. But then last year, only 529 yards, 3 tutties. So he wanted to go back to a familiar face, a team that is still on the come up, has a chance to make the playoffs. And he just wants to be back, where he was open or welcomed with open arms back in 2016 with the Detroit Lions. Listen, John, watch yourself, okay? Vikes first, as always, okay? Lions second, okay? Bears third, Packers dead last, okay? Moldy cheese. Moldy cheese. They're last. Last place, baby. Vikes winning the Super Bowl. How you like them apples? Huh? It's going to happen. NFL scripted. I got the script today. Pretty pleased. All right? Breaking news. Vikings win the Super Bowl in 2023. You heard it here first. All right? Mark it down, clip it, whatever you got to do. But Marvin Jones is heading back to the Detroit Lions. His best season was with the Lions back in 2017, 1,101 yards, 9 touchdowns. Jesus. He averaged 20 yards per reception that year. So he's a dog. He's back with the Lions and Jared Goff and company. So this will be exciting to watch and see how well the Lions perform this season. They had a great year last year, taking the Green Bay Packers out of the mix of the playoffs. Okay, John. Okay, you're funny. You're real funny. He's going to be gone if we get Lamar. Okay? Our odds went from 20 to 1 to 9 to 1 to sign Lamar Jackson. Yeah. How you like them apples? Okay? Bring him to town. Don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. because we got to sign Jay Jettis, Justin Jefferson, to a contract extension. Got to sign TJ Hawkinson to a contract extension. Oh boy, we have the 5th or 10th most money next year. I'm feeling excited. So maybe we could just push it down the line and bring in Lamar Jackson. How you doing? Keep moving. One of the most explosive offenses in the National Football League. I mean, good luck stopping the Minnesota Vikings. We just have to worry about our defensive side of things. But if we could score 30, 40 points a game, we should be okay. Okay, so, just, I'm telling you. The script writers are very cool. They show me what happens, because I cover the league. Cover the Vikings, too. So, I know what's going to happen. Vikes win the Super Bowl. Sorry about it. Wait, what? Hey, Rules, why'd you delete that? Oh, I see it. Kirk's gone. I see. Okay, wise guy. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Be lucky I'm leaving that division up. Oh, I love it. All right. So, yeah, Marvin Jones signs with the Detroit Lions, 1 year, $3 million. Can move up to $5 million. Good for Marvin Jones. All right. Before we end the show, we're going to look at Twitter and see if anything else has popped up while or during we were live, which, got to tell you, probably not. I mean, it has been a very, very dead day in the National Football League. Nothing has happened. Let's see. Okay. Free agent D tackle Jonathan Hankins, who was traded to Dallas last October, is returning to the Cowboys on a 1-year deal per source. I forgot to hit transition. There we go. Hey now, A-Rules. He was here before you. Remember. He is a Packer fan, but keep it, John could probably take some heat. I know he can, but just kind of keep it on the down low a little bit. All right? Everybody love everybody, okay? ELE, all right? But yeah, so that happened. Jonathan Hankins returns to the Dallas Cowboys. I know. Let's see. Ain't shit happening. Jets owner Woody Johnson on the looming and likely Aaron Rodgers trade told reporters, I don't think anybody's hyperventilating, okay? Everybody can relax. When it gets done, it'll get done, kind of like how I talked about that Lamar Jackson situation. All you need to know is it might happen, it might not. Just sit back, relax, watch the show, and when something pops up that says Aaron Rodgers traded, lose your mind, okay? Then go nuts. If he doesn't get traded, so be it. He's a Green Bay Packer. Well, okay, but leave his comments up. If you're a mod, just leave those comments up. We'll put it that way. That make it easier? Yeah. Oh, offensive lineman Alex Bars is signing back to the Raiders on a 1-year deal. Don't know who the hell that is, so we'll just keep it that way. Yeah. Nothing else has happened in the National Football League. Today has been absolutely dead, but I appreciate every single one of you guys that decided to stop by today. On your way out, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, show your friends this channel if they're interested in the National Football League. I would love more supporters. We're trying to get to 275 subs by the end of this week. We're only 10 away. I believe we can get that done. So if you have any buddies that like NFL content, want some more, feel free to send them my way. We also cover the XFL. We'll be doing the USFL. We don't really cover them too much. We just do the get watch parties and stuff because I think it's a fun time and I think you guys deserve to watch or watch along with me. So, I hope. I hope. That'd be cool. Next week, Aaron Rodgers is going to be gone. That'd be sick. But yeah, man, make sure to get everybody over here. That'd be fantastic. Let's grow this channel. Let's take over the world. That is the goal. But anyways, make sure you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. If you got anything on your mind, you need someone to talk to, don't feel bad if you have to come in the comment section and make a message to me, and I'll reply, and we'll do my best. I also have my email underneath as well, so if you need to shoot me an email at any time, A-Rules, if you want to email me that link, you can do that as well, and stuff like that. But just try to stay happy, stay positive, take your mind off some things, hit the gym. Remember, no beer, no alcohol, just, drink some water, okay? Stay hydrated. Let's get yoked like I'm about to go do and hit some legs and not be able to walk tomorrow. And it's going to suck. But I don't care because pain, like the Marines say, pain is weakness leaving the body, apparently. I don't know. I just heard that somewhere. But have a great rest of your day, folks. Have a, have a ice cold water for me. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and you just got your fix with the Wicks. I'm so sorry. Probably blew you guys' ears out. Deuces, folks.